Okay guys, this is a commentary drive, so I'm going to do a hill start, so checking all the way around, finding my biting point and releasing my handbrake, keeping my feet momentarily still as I add my gas and moving off. High anticipation that somebody may come around the corner, checking my mirrors to the left, really concerned that somebody's going to enter this road. Mirrors, I'm going to be turning left, but there's no point in signalling because I'll just fight with it. Now I can signal. If I had put it on any earlier, it probably would have just ticked off and it would have just been annoying. Okay, so I've got a pedestrian crossing here. It has got all the bags on the top, but people are going to congregate and try and cross there anyway, so it's incredibly important, even though the Belisha beacons weren't flashing, to still have respect for it, because people are going to try and cross there. Lady in the road, checking my mirrors, and I'm being warned about a roundabout, and I'm going to be following the signs for Stroud. Mirrors to the left. Got roadworks warning, and the speed limit is going to be 40. I've got the pedestrian crossing which I'm searching, nice and clear. Roadworks and traffic lights around the corner. Going into first gear, giving way to the right at this roundabout. Handbrake on, find the biting point, I can see a gap. Single file traffic warning signs. Checking the light colour, checking my mirrors. Yep, looks good. Little ramp apparently, so maybe they're taking the top level of tarmac off on the road to re-tarmac the entire surface. That means it could be quite bumpy here, and ironwork can be raised. Ironwork is basically all the drains and stuff like that in the road that it like peaks out. I don't know, maybe like gas points and stuff like that. When they take the top level of tarmac off, that now becomes very high, and it could even cut your wheels open and damage your tyres. They do tend to try and put tarmac around it to kind of soften it, but sometimes they miss the odd ones, so be careful. Turning right, not following the signs for Stroud anymore. Mirrors to the right, signal to the right, following towards the Superstore, Walden Hill and up Hatherley. The exit is after 12, so I'm selecting the right hand lane, going down into second if it's clear, second gear. Seeing the roundabout itself through the window on the right, especially as I look forward as well. Mirrors to the left, signal to the left. So I wanted to keep as close to the roundabout as physically possible, but I don't want to hit it. So I say to my students, make sure that now and again that you can see the roundabout through your window, as in the one that you're sat next to on the right. Make sure you can see it through the window a bit. Okay, so I'm on a 40-mile-an-hour road, 36 miles an hour, and I'm coming up to a roundabout. So checking the mirrors and speed by brake and going straight on towards the park and ride, 12 o'clock theory. And braking. Clutch down, second gear, looking for blockers. Yeah, I've got one. Keeping to the left, mirrors, signal just to help the van. I could have signalled left at the beginning of the roundabout. At the beginning of the roundabout, if I felt like I wanted to, because it was the first exit, and that would have been okay. If it's the first exit, you can always signal to the left, because it's the first exit. It's not very confusing. Okay, so this road at a glance looks like a 30 because it's houses and there's regular lampposts, but the 40-mile-an-hour sign is on the lampposts themselves, or on posts. Checking this car. Every 15 seconds or less, I'm going to have the speed limit told to me. 20s, 40s and 50s can't be guessed, they would be signed. So 20s, 40s, 50s would be signed, okay? Every 15 seconds or less on the lampposts. 30s, 60s and 70s can be guessed from the way that the road looks. Checking my mirrors, and I'm at a stable 40. I'm not using my cruise control. I'm just stabilising with my foot control. Checking my mirrors. I'm having subliminal messages, if you want to call them that, of bikes, signs written on the floor. Checking my mirrors. Overrunning a bit, which means come off the gas because I'm going around a bend, and I'm softening my speed up to the roundabout. Mirrors. 12 o'clock theory at the roundabout, I'm going to go straight on. Speed by braking. Clutch goes down. You can see the road markings at 12 o'clock theory here. And if it's clear, second gear, keeping to the left. Mirrors to the left, signal to the left, just to help all the people behind me as well know where I was going. I used a sandwich of speed inside the roundabout, which means I used a bit of gas to go in. Then I overran, which means come off the gas, then I used the gas again. So it's like a sandwich. So it was gas, overrun, gas, and that gave me the opportunity to have amazing position, and also gave me time to look in my mirrors and signal out without any major stress. This was a toucan crossing, it was clear, so I just carried on through. I'm going going to save petrol by going up to 4th. I'm considering 5th, but I'm just looking at the road here, checking my mirrors. The bend, no, I'm going to stay in 4th, checking my mirrors. The lines in the road are changing often. They've now become long, which means I'm approaching a hazard. If the long painted bit is long, it's hazard. Now it's gone small, so it's just a normal dividing line. Mirrors, speed by braking, pedestrian in the road, and straight on at the roundabout. Speed by braking, 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 braking. Clutch goes down, 2nd gear. Off brake, clutch coming up to the bite, keeping to the left. Mirrors to the left. Ooh, signal to the left. I was slightly worried about that car then. He was just approaching, so I was just being a little bit careful. I considered whether I needed to change my position by checking my mirror to the right, but I didn't need to. Hidden warning signs behind the tree, hidden T-junction on the left and traffic lights, mirrors. Searching the area for this puffin crossing, PUF, pedestrian user-friendly, pedestrian on my right. There's hatch markings with a dotted border, which means use if necessary, but totally pointless here. Looking at the Mini's speed. Approaching a roundabout, I'm going to be going straight on, a 2nd exit, speed by braking, 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 braking. Toucan crossing, Toucan cross the road. I'm going to use the 12 o'clock theory just so it's really banged into your head here. We're going to go straight on at the roundabout, speed by braking, braking, braking. So if you're taking an exit that's at 12 or before, 8 times out of 10, you're going to want to be in the left lane. And I just really want to continue to teach that here. Checking to the right at the roundabout, yeah, I've got a blocker. Keeping to the left, keeping to the left, keeping to the left. Mirrors to the left, signal to the left. Coming out at the roundabout, I'm going to be turning right, so mirrors, signal, blind spot, going to Cheltenham. And choosing the middle lane, it will say Cheltenham on the floor. Notice Cheltenham, Cheltenham written on the floor. Okay, and down into 2nd, yeah, I can take a gap. I'm going to be going into the middle lane, Cheltenham, Cheltenham on the floor. 1st lane to Cheltenham, which is, I call it the non-overtaking lane. The overtaking lane for Cheltenham is now on my right. I'm going to be following the line on the right. See the dot there? I'm going to be following the line on the right. Don't cross it, don't cross it. Be reassured by road markings saying Cheltenham, Cheltenham. Don't cross the line on the right, don't cross the line on the right. Follow it, but don't cross the line on the right. Cheltenham written on the floor. Mirrors to the left, signal to the left. Don't cross the line on the right. Checking the mirrors again, increasing the speed. Okay, so we've got multiple lanes that go to Cheltenham here. Okay, so you can see it on the sign, you've got 3 lanes that go to Cheltenham. Oh, I've got blue lights behind me, ambulance. Speed by braking, 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 braking. He's got the 3rd lane, so I think it's okay. Speed by braking, braking, braking. Just going to give him some space, just in case he wants to move at all. Yep. I can't undertake the person on my right because of the law, so I'm just going to be careful of that. I'm now in a lane that turns left, and that's what I want to do, right? So I'm in the left lane. 40-mile-an-hour road, so I'm going to increase my speed. PE way, I'm going to turn left at the roundabout, mirrors. And coming off the gas from 37 miles an hour. Speed by, mirrors signal actually. Speed by braking, 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 braking. Spiral roundabout, braking, clutch down, braking, 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 braking. Down into 1st. Braking, braking. Up to the bite, don't cross the line on the right, don't cross the line on the right. There's a little dot which I call a connector, and you don't cross that either. I've made lots of videos about the dots and what they're called, and the connector and the guideline. The little dot, which is the connector, sometimes call it the usher, because you know when you go to like the cinema or the theatre, the usher looks at your ticket and then they say, oh, let me show you where your seat is. So they, at the beginning, they show you how to get in to your seat, and you rarely have them to leave. Don't, you know, sometimes I guess you do, but like it's quite rare. The usher normally tells you where your seat is, and then you make your way out at the end, which is, I think, quite similar to a spiral roundabout. You get the little tiny dot to make you go in like the usher, and then it connects you to the guideline, which is a lot bigger, and then you just follow that without crossing it, which is what I said earlier. Okay, so 12 o'clock theory written on the floor, nice and clear. Speed by braking only, braking, braking. Yeah, I'm happy to stay in this gear actually, so I'm just going to continue. I just broke a little bit on its own and then continued. Okay, so I've got a changing lights, mirrors, speed by braking, clutch goes down and into first gear. Toucan crossing, Toucan cross, bikes and pedestrians can use this one. Checking my mirrors for undertaking bikes and overtaking bikes. Checking my mirrors. Looking at the light on my right through the window, checking. Oh, it's very generous. Checking my mirrors and yeah, no bikes. Going straight on at this funny little roundabout, going towards the race course, checking my mirrors. Speed by braking, first gear because I can't see past the cars. Yep, glad I stopped because there's a car coming, a couple of cars coming, giving way to the right. Following the signs for the race course, it's a tourist attraction, place of interest, so it's got a brown background. Okay, so taking the second exit, so I'm just travelling through and I am going to mirror and signal to the left. Classing it as the straight on at the roundabout because it was the second exit, mirrors to the left. It would have been okay if I signalled right, by the way, because the exit's after 12. It would have been totally fine. As long as I'd gone mirror signal out, that's okay. Okay, so I've got to be very strict with my speed here. This is Princess Elizabeth Way, if you guys know it. And loads of people get tickets on this road because it's really wide and really big, but it's definitely a 30. Residential, lamppost, no other reminders. So I'm looking at the road, I'm scanning the road, I can see the bikes, I can see the activity of the road. It's quite clear. I'm going to set a cruise control because I can see that the speed can be maintained at 30 without worrying too much about, you know, being jailed to a high speed. So I'm exactly on 30 because I've set the cruise control, but I'm monitoring that. I'm looking really far ahead. I'm only using cruise control because I really don't feel like there's many people around. I'm just going to put my, oh, it's hot. I'm just going to put my air conditioning on. Checking my mirrors for scanning the area at the Toucan crossing. And just scanning the area constantly, still on cruise control, worried about the cars on the left opening the doors or moving away. Checking all people's positioning. Checking my mirrors. The person behind is extremely respectful with his positioning. Pedestrians on the left, looking nice and far ahead. Scanning the area, I can see that there's another Toucan crossing here. Red car on the right, just considering him. Mirrors. Pedestrian near the crossing. I'm going to come away from cruise control now, braking, just in case the lights were to change, because there was somebody at the Toucan crossing who would have pressed the button. And I've also got somebody in front of me now, so I'm just overrunning. Car's going down to 23, mirrors. The car in front is driving quite slowly, so I'm just keeping a safe distance of around 2 seconds from him, sorry. Okay, cool. So when we get to the spiral roundabout, we're going to be turning left. I'm concerned about the car on the left, so I'm just checking him. Mirrors to the left, waiting till I pass the turn. Signal to the left. As you can see, it would have been extremely dangerous for me to signal before because he would have been keen to come out. Tyres on tarmac, but I've been able to catch the gear before I rolled backwards. Checking my mirrors to the left. Yeah, I felt committed to that. I don't feel bad about going through that amber light. I was very close. It would have been an emergency stop otherwise, and we really don't want the drive to be too uneven like that, so I committed. Checking, there's a pedestrian on my left, checking my mirrors. Looking nice and far ahead. This crossroads has got multiple lanes, multiple different setups for the lights here, so I'm just checking my mirrors, keeping distance from the van in front, the 2 second. Car on my left, or the van on my left, I was concerned about, so I just checked him out. Keeping a safe distance. I've got another warning about roadworks coming up here, or certainly a man with an umbrella. Okay, so I'm going to be coming up, but the left lane is closing. Mirrors to the right. Signal to the right. Blind spot. Moving over to the right. And cancelling the signal. There wasn't really anyone behind me. Well, anywhere near close anyway. So it was easy for me to move over. I didn't need to ask anyone's permission or anything. Handbrake, find the biting point. Keeping good distance, tyres on tarmac, making sure that I can always see his tyres on the tarmac. Handbrake back on. Yeah, finding the biting point, checking my mirrors for undertaking and overtaking bikes especially. Just checking all the conditions of the road here. Haven't seen this before. Got the people on the left, checking my mirrors, checking the junction just to make sure no one's red on red light, checking my mirrors to the left, increasing my speed slightly, digger on my right, checking my mirrors, looking ahead, checking my mirrors to the right. Can't U-turn here. Oh, sorry, end of U-turn prohibited there. And then checking my mirrors for the 50. Mirrors, no one overtaking. Right, so I'm now going to start increasing my speed. But I still need to have the 2-second gap between me and the person in front. So I call it the fox rule. If he broke for a fox that just leapt out in front of him, would I be able to stop in time? 2-second rule, when he goes past something stationary, you count. So let's just use these fire station lights. So 1, 2, yeah, and I didn't get to the fire lights before I'd said 2. Mirrors. Whenever anybody in front of you uses their brakes, it might be useful for you to overrun at least, because obviously they're slowing down, so they're changing speed. So definitely just be aware of that. If somebody in front of you is braking, you know, you might want to check your mirrors and come off your speed, yeah, because you know, they're changing, stuff's changing up ahead, yeah. So I'm keeping safe distance, checking the car on my left, he's fine. The hatch markings have still got a dotted border here, which means use if necessary. If it was a solid border, I would not be allowed to enter it unless there was an emergency. Okay, so yeah, I think, do you know what? I think I'm going to save some petrol and I'm going to go right up into 6th gear here. And I'm going to try and save as much money as physically possible now. Checking the sort of slip road area there for all of the trucks and stuff. Checking my mirrors. Keeping good distance. Scanning the area. Scanning the area. Keeping good distance. Again, hatch markings have still got the dotted border. Scanning the area, thinking about the white car, considering. Yeah, took him a while to help me to understand that he was going to stop. Considering the van on the left, checking my mirrors. 2 lanes now. The lane on the right is for overtaking. Okay, so I call this lane the non-overtaking lane, unofficial, that's a Rosism. But yeah, we overtake on the right in England, okay? So I call this the non-overtaking lane. If there's 2 lanes that do the same thing, I call the left one the non-overtaking lane and the one on the right the overtaking lane. That was the slip road to the motorway there on the left, which we're not taking. Looks like we've got some stuff going on, lots of cones here, so I'm just checking my mirrors. Got a slippery road sign for half a mile and dual carriageway coming down to end of dual carriageway. So coming down to 1 lane, mirrors. Mirrors to the right, see if anyone's overtaking me. Still on a 50. Checking nice and far ahead. I've got yellow signs here, so diverted traffic, looking as far ahead as I can. Looking nice and far ahead on these country roads is a good idea because it shows you where the limit point is and where the bends are. So here, if you can't see really far ahead because there's a bend, you can't see the limit point is close to you, basically the furthest part of the road is closer to you, then that's when you go slightly slower, maybe with overrun, maybe with brake, maybe with gear changing. Mirrors for the change of speed, mirrors. I'm going to change down to 5th. So the limit point's quite close, so I'm just, I'm not accelerating as hard as I was because I couldn't really see around the bend. I've made a whole video about following the limit point and how to decrease or increase your speed depending on how much road you can see and how to change gear. I've already done that. So if you want to have a focus in on that, just go and find the video, checking my mirrors. Little bit of a hill there, didn't know what's over the top. I've got a warning about a traffic light here. Checking my mirrors. Okay, so going straight on. So mirrors. Selecting the lane that is going to help me. Oh no, I'm not. Where am I going? Where does he live? I think he's straight on. Bros, have a think. Oh no. No, it is right. It's right. Mirrors to the right. Signal to the right. Think. Is it straight on? Find the biting point. Feel the bite. Check my mirrors. Looking for the bollard to know where to turn. There's the bollard. No, I don't think it's that way. Checking my mirrors. I don't come down here very often. I'm going to a party. I'm just taking you to a party and you're coming with me. I've got like loads of food in the back. Do you want to come? I have been, but it's just a yearly party that I go to, so I've kind of forgotten like where it is. I didn't want to put a sat nav on because I wanted to make the video. Okay, so mirrors for the national speed limit sign. So mirrors. Okay, so because it's national speed limit at the moment with one lane with just a painted line in between, it's 60 at the moment. However, that is going to change. So mirrors. It's now a dual carriageway because I've got the grass in between. So now I can do 70. So if you are only divided by a painted line on a national speed limit, then it's 60. But if you're divided by grass or some kind of crash barrier, then you're allowed to do 10 miles an hour extra with the national speed limit sign, so you can do 70. Mirrors. Oh no, do you know what? I feel like I'm a bit lost. Damn it! I didn't want to use a sat nav. Oh, I think I'm lost. Mirrors. Mirrors to see if anyone else is overtaking. Oh, do you know what? I might have to end the video and use a... Damn it, I wanted to take you all the way to the party with me, but I am lost. Damn. Mirrors. Speed by braking. Tyres on tarmac. Just needing to leave a nice safe distance between me and the car in front. Handbrake, neutral. Do you know what? I think it may have been straight on there. Damn it. Let me think. Do you know what I really think it was? Mirrors. Do you know what I think it was? Mirrors, signal. Checking my blind spot, moving over to the right lane. I think I'm going to have to turn in the side road. Mirrors, signal. So these lanes are divided and governed by a different traffic light. So obviously I cannot go. So I'm just waiting for the traffic light to turn, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be an arrow because the oncoming people are moving at the moment, and that means that we've all got our own separate time of going. So it's extremely likely, I think, for it to be an arrow, which will give me total priority to make the turn. Mirrors and signal. Going into the area here to do some kind of turn. Maybe I can buy a hot tub while I'm in here. I've never been in here before. Right, peeps, what do you sell? Yeah, buying a hot tub. Okay, checking my mirrors. Now, let's just use this little car park to do a turn. Oh, they do martial arts here. Oh, interesting. Checking for people coming out of all of their bays and their working areas. What's going on here? Ooh, actually, I'm not really supposed to. All right, let's do it properly. I am a driving instructor. I can't go over the bays. Can't teach that. I would normally. Is that bad? On your driving test, you cannot go over the empty bays, peeps. That's why I'm doing this 3-point turn. Because I don't want to teach you bad things, you know, don't want to teach you bad habits. There was blatantly bays in front of me there, and that would be officially naughty for me to teach you that. Okay, somebody's just reversing out of his section there. I'm just going to keep an eye on him because he's keeping an eye on me as well. Thank you very much. He just let me go first. That's cool. Checking my mirrors. Okay, just checking the entire area. I'm concerned about somebody coming in here at speed. Checking my mirrors. People coming here to get their hot tubs at speed. Checking my mirrors to the left and signalling to the left, keeping to the left. Waiting for a green light, handbrake on, clutch is down, poised and ready to go, yep. Finding my biting point after mirrors and selecting the left lane to begin with, magnets in the curb, magnets in the curb. I am not in the overtaking lane, mirrors, mirrors. Okay, so national speed limit sign. So I have got a centre reservation which is dividing me officially with grass or a crash barrier. So that means I can do up to 70 miles an hour. But when it changes back into paint only, and if it's still the national speed limit sign, that would mean I have to do 60. And don't forget that the national speed limit sign doesn't have a number on it because it depends on what vehicle you're driving. Each vehicle has a different speed limit, okay? So in a car and motorbike, we can go up to 70. Now, we've got a dual carriageway ending sign. Always reminds me of one of those tuning forks for the music class. Did you ever play with one of those? Mirrors, and no one overtaking me. Now it's down to a 60 if it was a national speed limit, yeah? Because it's paint now that divides me. Does that make sense? Mirrors. Now I'm going down to 40 because it's obviously a mandatory sign there. I am quite lost. I hope that you're still getting some really good stuff from this, but I think I'm lost. Oh, I'm gonna have to probably turn my sat-nav off. I'll keep you with me just for a few more minutes, but I think I'm lost. Mirrors. I'm gonna be turning right at this junction. Mirrors. Signal. I've got an arrow to the right, so that's cool. So I've been given priority. Nah, I'm lost. Damn it. Oh. Where does he live? I thought I could do it by... Well, this is interesting anyway. The sign said it was a dead end. There was T as I entered it with the red bit at the top, so... Yeah, I just got lost. Okay, guys, obviously I'm just going to have to find a place to turn around. I won't bore you with this anymore. I'm really lost. So I'm going to end the video here as I do a reverse here and go back to the road. Check my blind spot, and that's it. Just go up to this gate and steer straight. That's it. And then I'll end it there. Sorry guys, I got lost, but I hope this was really helpful to you, and I'll see you on the next video.